welcome you to the Stan Sheriff Center. Final evening of the Outrigger Resorts Volleyball Challenge. The Hawaiian FCU starting lineup scrolling at the bottom of your screen. The Eastern Washington Eagles at 4-5 on the year, 0-2 here in this weekend's tournament, going up against the number 16 Rainbow Wahine at 7-1, and the Eagles serve first to get things started, and Olivia McGill gets Hawaii off to a positive start. Now the concern, obviously, Chris, you guys talked about it in Game On, presented by Straub, and that is that Hawaii is coming off that emotionally charged victory last night against number 2 Florida. What will they have left in the emotional tank here tonight against a feisty Eagles squad? As you see the step out to Alexis Wesley, and she's able to get Eastern Washington on the board.
I think that Hawaii will get the wake-up call as soon as Eastern Washington makes a run on them or gets ahead. In the meantime, I think they'll just play some steady volleyball and hope they've got enough left in that tank. Notice Higgins going to the middle a lot here early.
Trying to establish McGill. Here she is again. 3 quick sets in the middle to Olivia McGill, and on 2 of them, she pounds it down.
Goni takes from right to the face. This is your classic Saturday night facial. Wow. Uh-oh. Took one to the jaw there.
Welcome to the islands.
Yeah.
2 serving 1. Here's Ali Schumacher from the back row, and that's going to bounce off of the Terraflex despite the pancake efforts of Taylor Higgins. Schumacher, the top hitter for Eastern Washington, a senior. 2.9 kills per set at a 196 clip. Served by Fernanda Vito. Past Savannah Kahakai. Bump set goes to Kalei Greeley on the outside. She's blocked, but Kahakai keeps it alive. Greeley a second time, and Vito with the dig in the back row. The swing by Anna Yakovlevich. Hawaii controlling. This rally plays on. Right side, this is the freshman Jessica Gilbert. And that's another welcome to Division I volleyball as Olivia McGill posts up next to Kalei Greeley.
Well, Eastern Washington showing that they can hang in a rally several times over the net with Hawaii, but Hawaii outpatiented them that time.
Oh, nice pushover on the second touch by the sophomore setter Nicole Rigoni out of Beaverton, Oregon.
This is one young squad, freshman setter and sophomore setter. And they've got
how about 14 freshmen and sophomores on the team?
That's a lot of youngins, isn't it?
One of the youngest teams, in fact, in the country. Emily Maglio, she's still kind of a youngin, just a sophomore. But you see her development from week to week, and that was a smash right there.
Hope the middles have got their arms ready. They're getting all the sets here early tonight. Actually, ironically, that's what won it for Hawaii last night. Besides Taylor Higgins, you know, serving in Game 5, going to the middle by Kelsh was a big difference in change of game plan last night.
Taylor with the serve for Hawaii, and on the outside it's Yakovlevich, the senior from Serbia, played a couple of years at Northwest Junior College. She's able to get another point for Eastern Washington.
Played in 26 of their 29 matches in 2014. Was a JC All-American there at Northwest College in Wyoming.
She will serve. And Manolevao with the shank, so it's an ace and a point for the Eagles. Now, you can't sleep on Eastern Washington. They got swept by San Diego State last night, and a disappointing performance certainly from the standpoint of head coach Wade Benson, but they took a set off of Florida the opening night of this Outrigger Resorts Volleyball Challenge. Here's Nikki Taylor, and that was a heater from the D position.
And the set they took off San Diego State was, or off Florida, was impressive, to say the least. 15 kills, 1 error, and 30 tries, hit 467. It was a monster number to take down the Gators in that third set.
Kalei Greeley now to serve at 11 kills on 29 swings, hit 241, had a double-double too with 10 digs last night in the win over the Gators. Boy, what a night it was at the Stan Sheriff Center. Right side, and the set to Chloe Weber, and she's able to tool the block to her advantage. Weber, another one of those youngsters, underclassmen, 6-foot sophomore from Gilbert, Arizona.
Wade Benson was telling us how optimistic he was before the game, that in a year or two, his team's going to have a lot of experience. They'll be very much more savvy. One more Division I college volleyball under their belt.
But for a veteran coach, he has to adjust his expectations, certainly his sense of demand on this team. He says, yeah, you know, I have to be patient. They're young. We're probably, as you said, Chris, about 2 years away from being where we want to be. Here's Tai Manoleval. Oh, that was an absolute bomb. And Manoleval, who had herself a night against the Gators, 16 kills, hit 267, and this was coming off of back-to-back matches where she hit in the negative numbers, but she showed up at the most opportune of times.
She's sitting at that high contact point there and playing with a lot of energy.
Overpass forced on the Claire Marie Anderson serve. One hand set by Taylor Higgins to McGill, who hammers it home.
Well, you got to credit Nikki Taylor for the perfect pass up to the net. And then Taylor Higgins with the acrobatic one-handed set. And how about McGill getting up early and ready?
Good serve again by Anderson. Knuckled over by Schumacher. Chance for Hawaii. Higgins goes D-set to Taylor. Hawaii up 2.
Nikki Taylor continuing to be a monster opposite player out of the back row. It's so many angles. So tough to defend.
She has just been a beast here in 2015. Maybe a free chance for Hawaii. Anderson, the first touch. Higgins high and away. Manoleval up the ladder. The save over the net by Vito. Good heads-up play by Taylor to keep it going. Greeley's swing is dug up. Here's Schumacher on the outside. The dink works. Not sure exactly what you would call that shot by Ali Schumacher, but it results in a point nonetheless for the Eagles.
It's a little bit unorthodox, but that's how this team is. The team hits a lot of different shots, a lot of different angles. They run a 6-2 system so they can get a big player in for their center all the time in the front row. Schumacher's led them in kills, I think 7 of their 10 matches, or their 9 matches.
Served by Rigoni, the setter. Good pass, Kahakai. Middle set, McGill was a little too low. And Schumacher there to save. On the back row, Yakovlevich is blocked. Olivia McGill again in the middle. Taylor Higgins right there as well. And that block showed up in the 4th and 5th sets last night against the Florida Gators and just changed the dynamic of that thing.
It really did, as did Taylor Higgins' serve.
Schumacher, good swing, good save, Kahakai. 2-hand free ball now for Eastern Washington. Schumacher a second time, down the line and in. Boy, that was a savvy swing from the senior.
It was a smart swing. She saw Taylor Higgins sneaking in to get the tip. Instead, she wrists it deep to the corner. Excellent volleyball shot.
Schumacher retreats back to serve, closing in on 1,000 career kills. She's projected to be the 10th player in Eastern Washington history to reach the 1,000 kill plateau.
All Big Sky a couple of years ago.
This is a bad pass. Here comes a free ball the Eagles' way. Looking to tie it up here. Step out. That goes to Wesley. Blocked and roofed by Nikki Taylor. Taylor was up and ready.
Well, what a bonus to have Nikki Taylor at 6'4" over there blocking the slide play right there. She doesn't do that in every rotation, but she had it there. And fortuitous for the Bows.
Solo style there on Nikki Taylor's part. Served by Manoleval. Is Schumacher from the back row. Kahakai all over it. Middle set, McGill, the dink. Saved back over the net, so chance here for Hawaii. Kahakai sets up Taylor. A nice looking set, and Taylor finishes the deal. Savannah Kahakai, who had her career high 19 digs last night against the Gators, taking on the setting responsibilities there and putting it on the money.
Savannah Kahakai could be a setter if she wanted to. She's got great hands.
11 serving 8. Middle set, that's Wesley. The block was up. Now Schumacher from the back row. The block is up again. Yakovlevich goes off the block and out. And again, that's an example of the feistiness of this Eastern Washington team. A couple of blocks, but they kept at it, they persisted, and they finally get the point.
They did a very good job of covering their hitter, giving their hitters another opportunity to swing.
So Here's Fernanda Vito, freshman from Brazil, with the serve. Taylor on the opposite side. Popped up in the air by Vito. How about the second touch diving style Rigoni? But the free ball sent was an out ball fielded by Manuel Leval. And then McGill gets roofed solo style by Haley Watson.
What a save right here. Nice dig by Vito to keep it up. And then the finish of the play. Great block by Haley Watson, 6'2", freshman from Coeur d'Alene.
High with the pass. Higgins goes backside to Taylor. A touch up front, so Schumacher the dig. Now Jakovljevic on the outside, punched up by McGill. Taylor has to adjust, takes a pretty good swing at it, dug up by Rigoni, and then punched over on the second touch. So Hawaii in control. Here's Greeley on the outside. Hard angle and in.
Well, once again, Hawaii's finding that this Eastern Washington team can hang with them. A lot of rallies going back and forth. Eastern Washington, despite being very, very young, showing some pretty good experienced, savvy shots.
Oh, that one missed, though, by the freshman Jessica Gilbert from Modesto, California, stands at 5'11". It was all tourney at the New Orleans Invitational last week. Showed a glimpse of what she has the potential to do. Averaged 2.1 kills per set in that tournament and hit 500. As Kahakai sends it back to Eastern Washington with the out serve.
Gilbert also hit 450 versus Cal. Cal's a pretty good Pac-12 team. You hit over 400 against a Pac-12 team, you got a pretty good night.
There's Gilbert with the serve. Good pass, Manuel Leval. Middle set to Maglio, blocked, and she saves it. Now Higgins goes to Nikki Taylor, and the Taylor-made connection shines again. Taylor Higgins and Nikki Taylor, they have a relationship that goes back to their New Valley intermediate days. And I don't know if we're seeing some of the residual effect of that early childhood relationship when they connect on some of those sets. 14 serving 11. Overpass forced, and Taylor Higgins with the swing. That's sort of like the Taylor-made connection the opposite way. Nikki Taylor forcing the bad pass, and Higgins finishing the deal. Welcome back. Let's take a look at the Kaiser Permanente keys to the match. Chris.
Well, for Eastern Washington, they've got to get quicker starts. Benson, their coach, said, we got behind and played catch-up all night long last night, and when they played Florida, it was 25-9 in the first set, and just played catch-up that night as well. And for Hawaii, Tai Manu only, wow. Tai's breakout match last night needs a repeat tonight if they're going to beat Eastern Washington.
Kind of showed what Hawaii's capable of if Tai is able to show up. Just kind of broadens out the offensive attack, and a good play up at the net by Taylor Higgins as Hawaii out of the timeout scores again to go up 5 here in this opening set, as Higgins was able to shut the door on Anna Jakovljevic. Nikki Taylor taking something off. Good diving pass by Vito. Schumacher from the back row, Taylor the dig. So Higgins goes middle to Maglio. And that's going to work for another Hawaii point and a Mags kill. 4-0 run here for the Rainbow Wahine. Wade Benson going to signal for another timeout from the Eastern Washington side. Hawaii creating some separation here in set 1.
OCSports, presented on Oceanic Time Warner Cable, is sponsored by Bank of Hawaii and Kaiser Permanente.
Out of the timeout, Hawaii up 6, 17 serving 11, and it's Nikki Taylor with the jump serve. Forces the overpass. Free chance for Hawaii. Taylor on the D set. Dug up by Schumacher. Free ball coming Hawaii's way again. Oh, a little bit of an overpass, but Higgins is able to win the duel at the net, so she sort of cleaned up that spill, and the Rainbow Wahine continue to separate themselves from the Eagles.
That's exactly what it was. It was a spill. Nikki Taylor just adrenalizing that first pass almost completely over the net. Higgins saved her.
A little run here at the service line by Nikki Taylor. Right side, that's Jakovljevic, and she's able to work it past the proposed double block and down for the Eastern Washington point.
Dave shows you up off the bench. I think he's seen one too many tips drop in front of the Rainbow back row, so he's probably calling for them to play more of a man-up defense.
Pavlovich to serve, Greeley pass, nicely done. She'll get the set on the outside. The double block was late, but a good dig by Vito. Now Schumacher from the outside. Greeley there with the save. Pipe set to Manuole, foul! There is your Manuole, wow, swing right there. That was a swat.
She came flying out of the back row, got a good run up, nice set by Higgins. The Eastern Washington blockers, I think, not quite ready for that. They thought the ball was going to go in the middle to Maglio.
19 serving 12. Middle set, that's Watson. She's able to find that deep corner. Eastern Washington coming out of the Big Sky Conference preseason pick to finish 8th. Idaho State the favorite in that league. Eastern Washington last year went 9-20, finished 9th in the Big Sky at 5-11 with their in-league record. But they're head coached by Wade Benson. And this staff, I tell you what, they know what they're doing in the islands. A couple of his assistants tonight sporting the shorts and slippers look. Step out, Maglio pumps it long. And Eastern Washington trying to close the gap here. And there is the shorts and slippers look with a very stylish Aloha shirt. In fact, Wade Benson even had the slippers on in the opening night match of the tournament against Florida, but I think he was a little self-conscious about his skinny ankles, he said. Decided to wear the long pants tonight. Here's Maglio on the step out. It's not going to be returned. Point for Hawaii.
Wade Benson, a great guy, coming off a battle with cancer last year, took the year off. He's lost 30 pounds. Directly his last few tests have been positive, and he's so excited that he's on the way back, as is the volleyball world. Great guy.
Took a leave of absence last year to fully recover, and it's a process, but so far so good. Has a different perspective certainly on the game, on life in general. And it's good to see him here in the islands doing his thing, although Hawaii right now doing their thing against the Eastern Washington Eagles. And Benson will signal for another timeout.
Notice that Hawaii not showing a lot of emotion. They're just sort of businesslike in the way they're going up about this match tonight. They're hitting 355, 13 kills, only 2 errors. They've forced 7 errors on Eastern Washington, but a very calm, steady, rational, steady game plan, and I think that it's what's to be expected. I don't know if there was much left in the emotional tank after last night. I know you didn't have anything left, and I did.
Even with the fans, I mean, you kind of get the sense that this is sort of the Florida hangover going on here at the Stan Sheriff Center. Even the fans are trying to find some of the reservoir energy to cheer on the home team, Rainbow Wahine. Tonight's Jack Fact, Rainbows over a Big Sky. Hawaii is a perfect 41-0 against teams in the Big Sky Conference. 10 of those victories coming in the postseason, including a couple versus Eastern Washington in 1989 and 2001.
2002 was a big year for Wade Benson and this Eastern Washington program. They got to as high as 15th in the country.
In 2001, they actually made it to the second round of the NCAA tournament, which is a record for any Big Sky team. They're the only program to even win an NCAA tournament match. So they've done some good things over there, but right now finding themselves down 7 here against the Rainbow Wahine, and Claire Marie Anderson continues to serve. They go delay, middle set to Schumacher, diving save, Anderson. Here's Taylor on the D.
Credit Claire Marie Anderson for the great dig there. Eastern Washington coming with a lot of attackers. They can be very confusing following their offense. They run some nice stuff.
Here is the insertion of Kendra Kelch, as well as Megan Huff. Kelch going in at center, and Huff, who did her part to spark Hawaii last night with a couple of opportune plays. And Kendra Kelsh, for the most part, took over the setting responsibilities in sets 4 and 5 and helped to change the tone of that 5-set thriller last night against the Gators. Good pulling of the string once again by Ali Schumacher.
Getting tip after tip to drop. Schumacher looking like she disguises it well that she's going to attack the ball, and all of a sudden she pulls the string and hits the tip shot.
Goni back behind the end line to serve. 4 service aces on the season coming into this match. 15 serving 22. Good pass by Greeley. High and away. Mano Levao. It's dug up in the back row by Yakovlevich. Now Schumacher on the outside. There's the tip. That time Kelsh able to save it. Huff will get a swing on the opposite side. Rigoni pops it up. And it'll be a free ball coming for Hawaii. Greeley the first touch. Kelsh will go middle to McGill. Dug up by Rigoni. And this sequence plays on. It'll be another free chance for Hawaii. It almost hit the floor. And then it's going to be a lift call against Kelsh. So it was a free ball pass by Fernanda Vito. But that came pretty low on the angle over the net, and it was tough to handle for Savannah Kahakai.
It was very tough. She did a great job of saving it. Then Kelsh couldn't save it when it got to the net. Just hangs on to it a little bit long. He's called for a lift. 50-50.
Yeah. Tough call there for Kendra Kelsh. 16 serving 22 here. Only the jump serve by the pass. Backside set to Huff. Two-handed in the air by Rigoni. And now the swing by Gilbert. Again, the tip shot, but Kahakai there. Mano Levao. No tips in her neighborhood. She rocked it.
Mano Levao getting the big run-up and the big swing. Right there, going inside the block. Not an easy shot. Pulled it off. And that breakout night last night must have helped.
Guinasso with the serve. The dump shot on the second touch by the setter. And Hawaii fields it. And Gianna Guinasso standing in front of that 3-meter line. Flat-footed swing got blocked by Alexis Wesley. Guinasso, sophomore from Huntington Beach, California.
Loves to draw Disney characters. Obsessed with anything Disney. MVP in her league. She was a senior.
Back to the high school days at Huntington Beach High School with Kendra Kelsh. There's Sophie Miller on to serve for Eastern Washington. Guinasso fields the first touch. Mano Levao adjusts the run-up. Dug up by Miller. Yakovlevich, that's dug up by Guinasso. Nicely done. Mano Levao a second time. And the second time was the charm as Hawaii gets to within a point of claiming this first set.
Nice dig by Baby G in the back row. Time Mano Levao continues to swing well on the outside. Going to take a break right now and let Casey Castillo come in.
Casey Castillo, the freshman from Oceanside, California, out of Santa Fe Christian Schools, suffered an ACL tear on her left knee in high school. Stayed with it. Hawaii stayed on her, and here she is now as a freshman getting some time. Yakovlevich able to work it off the block and down, although she landed awkwardly and was actually helped up off the Terraflex by a couple of her teammates. Looks to be okay. Still aloha ball here for Hawaii in set 1. It was last night that Chris McLaughlin publicized his idea that maybe it would be a good idea for fans here at the Sand Sheriff Center to stand even at the end of sets when Hawaii is on the verge of winning. As that's a service ace that will at least postpone the celebration for Hawaii a little bit longer. Fernanda Vito.
You know, an experienced player, played in the Brazilian junior national team in 2012, so she's been around.
Anticlimactic ending to the opening set, but Hawaii gets the job done. 25-19 over Eastern Washington in the follow-up to the classic from a night ago.
OCSports, presented on Oceanic Time Order Cable, is sponsored by Strong.
Taylor Higgins, one of the heroes of last night's fifth set with her abilities at the service line, getting the start again at setter tonight, and she's been putting them on the money, Chris.
Yeah, she got the overpass kill there, wins the joust there, was in on 3 blocks. One of them was a block solo, set Nikki Taylor perfectly on that D set out of the back row. And the 12 assists would be as good as anybody in the country. Nice number.
Series record sponsored by Aston Hotels and Resorts. Hawaii leading the all-time series with the Eagles 4-0. Last meeting was 2007 here in Honolulu. And Hawaii able to win that one in 3. Competitive opening set that September 7th. But yeah, I think a lot should be said
about the guy with the green hair.
About the guy with the green hair. But no, a lot should be said about Taylor Higgins because, you know, Kendra Kelch did take on the majority of the setting responsibilities later in the match, played well, helped to sort of turn the tide. But when Taylor Higgins was called upon in that 5th set to come up clutch at the service line, she did. And that showed a lot of trust, a lot of resolve, and that's sort of what defined that performance by Hawaii as a whole last night. This was a team that maintained that belief and maintained that trust in each other. It was something to behold.
How about that mental toughness of her to go on that run of serves and serving it hard? And Mary Wise, Florida's coach, tried to ice her by calling timeouts, and Taylor Higgins, most servers would serve it easy after the timeout just to get it in. She gets up and she just ripped her jump serve after the timeout. And I think it really shook up Florida a lot and made the biggest difference in set 5 last night.
Good look at Dave Shoji there. He was beaming after that win over second-ranked Florida last night. Set 2 underway here. And it's time on Olivao. Net violation called against Eastern Washington. That was going down anyway. And Hawaii strikes first here in set 2.
What a set by Taylor Higgins that time, too. That ball had "hit me" written all over it.
A couple of Punahou products. Good story in Game On presented by Straub by Ryan Kalei-Suji about the buff and blue foursome for the Rainbow Wahine. Good swing there by Ali Schumacher. 4 kills on 13 swings.
Schumacher's shown some she's got a lot of tools in her arsenal. Put that deep down the line shot, hit the seam shot.
And there's a block by Eastern Washington. Alexis Wesley and Jessica Gilbert, a senior and a frosh, joining forces.
Good celebration there. They know they blocked one of the better players in the country right there. Reason to celebrate.
The serve by Nicole Rigoni. Pass Kahakai. That was a sweet one. McGill in the middle. Rising high and dropping it down.
Oh, I love Rigoni's jump serve. She just steps up and just pounds it. 5'8" sophomore out of Beaverton, Oregon. Forces Hawaii into a tough passing situation, but they did a nice job of putting it up there.
Overpass there, and it's going to be a Hawaii point. Back row attacker called against Rigoni, trying to go up and keep it on the Eastern Washington side. You've also loved this transition for Taimano Olivao, serving from deep behind the service line, flat-footed.
I love deep servers. Step all the way back as far as the court will let you.
Swing from the back row, and I don't know if that got up over the net. They're going to credit Hawaii with the roof as the triple block was up, but Hawaii able to get to 4-2. As you saw the first action for Kaiulani Ahuna, 5'10" freshman out of Kamehameha, Hawaii. Wade Benson has high hopes for her. In fact, she's just a frosh, but he thinks that she'll be starting, at least that's the projection, by conference play. Middle set, Wesley blocked by McGill, or at least off the block. McGill gets the swing in the middle, dug up back over the net. Higgins will go high and away to Greeley against a double block. Missed the court wide, and that's a point for Eastern Washington.
A rare error from Ms. Consistency. Sort of a quiet X factor for Hawaii.
Yeah,
just a steady passer, great player. And Wade Benson did say he loves her.
Said, I really like number 11. What she brings to the table as Ali Schumacher deals an ace. And we're tied at 4 here in the second set.
You know what Schumacher wants to do when she graduates? She wants to work for a human trafficking nonprofit.
Opposite side, that's Nikki Taylor. Tickled the tape and found its way out, so Eastern Washington surges ahead here in the second set.
You know, their media guide their bios had some interesting occupations the players want to be when they graduate.
Yeah, a wide variety of majors as well. That was a major roof. And the youngin, Kaiulani Ahuna, up next to Alexis Wesley. And Ahuna got the most, in fact, all of that one.
She did. Great swing block, good position.
Higgins bumps it to Mano Leval from the back row, sends it long. We got a run here coming from the Eagles. They've scored 5 straight, and that forces Dave Shoji to signal for a timeout.
Big Island Candies, the perfect place to find the perfect gift. Visit them at their flagship store in Hilo at Ala Moana Center or online at BigIslandCandies.com to see their amazing selection, including delicious chocolate-dipped shortbreads.
Welcome back as we rejoin live action out of the timeout. 5-0 run here for Eastern Washington. However, trying to break the run. Ahuna on the outside, the dink, diving save Higgins. Taylor will take a half-hearted swing, save Schumacher. Advantage here for the Eagles. It's Wesley in the middle off the block. Higgins goes to McGill, the dink, diving save Rigoni. Eagles flying all over the place. Ahuna! She's blocked as McGill and Taylor finally restore order on that long round.
4 great digs by the Eagles before Hawaii was finally able to stop it with a block, but what a run by the Eagles, playing very well. Hawaii hitting negative so far. Eagles doing a great job of digging a lot of Hawaii's attacks. Hawaii negative 333.
Served by Kahakai, two-handed by Ahuna. She'll get the set on the outside, plugs it through the block. She's showing some stuff here in this second set for Eastern Washington.
Got the 8 kills last night coming off the bench. There's the bright, shining light of the Eagles for last night.
Yeah, hit 273.
4 BIAF titles. How about that?
Yeah. And an ace by Schumacher. Eastern Washington with its largest lead of this second set.
Actually, I think this run is good because I think Hawaii needs some sort of a jolt.
The key is responding to that jolt. There's Taylor on the opposite side. Ahuna had her blanketed.
What a block. What technique on this. There's a swing block, goes up and penetrates over. Perfect hands. No net violation, penetrated over.
We got another setter switch for Hawaii as Kendra Kelsch in for Taylor Higgins. See how that impacts things. Here's Nikki Taylor on the opposite side. We're going with another dig. Bump set goes to Schumacher against the triple block. And there was no getting by that. Mags in the middle with Greeley and Nikki Taylor on each side.
Good penetration by all 3 blockers. Tough to get around that.
6 serving 10. Nikki Taylor pumps it long.
I'm so impressed with the defense right now that Eastern Washington is playing. They've obviously got Hawaii well scouted. They know where to go, place themselves in the right position, and then using good digging skills to keep the ball alive on their own side of the net for the most part.
Hawaii hitting a little bit of quicksand here in this second set. Eastern Washington by 5, and the serve by Gilbert. Kelsch will go high and away to Greeley, coming flying in. Works it off the block and out.
Both teams hitting negative in this set. Eastern Washington hitting negative 182. Hawaii hitting negative 188. Not great offensive show being put on right now in this second set. A lot of great defense, though.
Yeah, Eastern Washington out-digging Hawaii 26-19 in the match. Forcing the overpass, though, was the serve. And Kendra Kelch had a couple of moments at the net where she provided a block and a couple of dump downs like that one right there. As Hawaii gets within 3. Good serve by Kalei Greeley.
She was the one who forced the bad pass.
Puma with the first touch. Middle set, that was Haley Watson, hit it into the twine. Hawaii back to within 2. So here come the Rainbow Wahine, perhaps responding to that wake-up call in the form of that Eastern Washington run just moments ago.
Well, that's what the great teams have to do if they're going to separate themselves from the rest of the field, and that is respond to adversity.
Schumacher will take a swing from the back row, gets it over the triple block. One-hand save initially by Kahakai, but for not, as Schumacher showing a wide array of talents in the hitting department here tonight.
She's got a lot of shots, doesn't she? She's shown us pretty much everything.
5 kills for her on 16 swings, just 1 hitting error to speak of, hitting 250, and en route maybe to a possible double-double performance. She has 7 digs. Laguna heads to the bench area. Anna Yakovlevich in and back to serve. There's Nikki Taylor from the back row. Plugs it through that double block. It's amazing how Nikki Taylor is able to get quality swings from just about anywhere on the floor.
She doesn't need an approach. She's got the great range, great arm swing.
Marie Anderson with the serve. Ooh, low set to Schumacher, blocked by Kelch. And then hit over by Miller. Kelch on the second touch, dumps it down. No-look style. It's one of her specialties. Hawaii back within a point.
Dig by Claire Marie Anderson that time. Got it up there close enough for Kelch to do her thing. She's really good at that little backed up no-looker.
Anderson with the serve. Here's Schumacher on the outside. Kelch denying access. And we are tied at 12.
Oh, and Schumacher took a solid swing that time. It was a good one.
How about this rally by the Rainbow Wahine? A 6-1 run here to get even with Eastern Washington in the second set. Miller on the opposite side finds the end line. The Eagles back up.
Sophie Miller is the former teammate of Megan Huff. Federal Way, Washington.
Both attending Todd Beamer High School. Ryan Ensrud, senior, Pale of Washington, in the serve. Here's Taylor on the back row. Miller will get a swing at it on the opposite side, goes down the line again for the second straight time, finds the open area.
Sophie Miller, what a shot. She saw the open line and just took advantage.
Off of one leg, mind you. Kelch pops it high and away to Manolevao against a single blocker. But two-handed in the air by Yagovlevich. Here's Manolevao second time. They're actually going to call the lift on Kendra Kelch. And Eastern Washington up 3. Pendulum of momentum has swung pretty violently here in this second stanza.
Credit to Eastern Washington, making some terrific digs. They got Hawaii well scouted, watching them for 2 nights. They probably had some film on them as well.
Through the serve, Kahakai, first touch. Manolevao, oh, she went way up into the sky.
She's really in a good rhythm now. Her approach is solid. She's waiting for the set a little bit longer rather than rushing in. Her timing is really solid, and she's swinging high contact point, going over blocks that 2 weeks ago she was hitting into.
Yeah, that was an approach. She went top floor.
Those numbers from last night: 16 kills, 267, a couple blocks, 7 digs. Big night from the co-captain.
Taylor Higgins in to serve, and Wesley sends it long. Sort of a punch swing from Alexis Wesley, who is a grad transfer from Memphis. Had a good career over there with the Tigers. Finished 3rd in Tigers' career kill percentage. Here's Miller again, trying to go line, but a good touch by Mano Leval. Now Higgins goes middle to McGill. 5th tie of the 2nd set.
Finally, Hawaii has caught up after being down 5, in case you just joined us.
Hawaii back in positive numbers, 0-8-7 here in the 2nd. Middle set, and Wesley able to do the deed.
Wesley leads this team in kill percentage, hitting 260. Getting her MDA right now in communications after doing 4 years at Memphis. She obviously redshirted a year there.
Rigoni to serve. Oh, that tickles the end line as it was let by Savannah Kahakai. It's an ace in Eastern Washington. Answering the call here.
There's those air currents knocking it down. Stan Sheriff Center is famous for it.
Somebody close the window. Here's McGill, the dink. That's kill number 6 for Olivia McGill. On 15 swings, just 1 error. She's hitting .333 and already has 5 blocks.
Now this deep serve of Olivales is one that uses the air currents as well. It's moving around a lot.
Step out Wesley. Great dig, Higgins. Here's Taylor on the opposite side. It's dug up by Vito. Now to the back row. Yakovlevich finds the floor.
Once again, this Eastern Washington team, tough to defend because they're coming at you from so many different angles. They pretty much run every play set in the book, including all the play sets out of the back row.
Kahakai the pass, middle set, McGill. Hawaii back within 1, and that's the hard part, is you're a talented team like Hawaii certainly is. Sometimes you feel like maybe you can put the switch in the on position even when sometimes it falls into the off position. But that is so much easier said than done. Just ask Florida, as they struggled to do it against this Eastern Washington team a couple nights ago.
Exactly, and Florida struggled to do it against Hawaii last night as well. They could not turn that on switch again once Hawaii got momentum.
Kahakai the serve. Wesley in the middle didn't get it above the tape. So we draw even yet again.
Set just a little bit low.
Kahakai floating one deep. Two-handed by Ahuna. Step out goes to Gilbert, and that was rough.
Great pass from Ahuna as well to get the whole play started. Gilbert just smashing down the line.
These are the kind of glimpses of potential greatness.
This is how they beat Florida the other night. They just got going. They got on a roll. Sometimes the youngsters don't know any different. They get out there and they just play with abandon.
Taylor on the oppo. Dug up by Rigoni. From off the net, Gilbert pumps it long. So Hawaii gets even at 19-19. We've been tied 7 times here in the 2nd set. And a timeout taken by Wade Benson. So we'll take a break as well. Neck and neck here in set 2. Welcome back. The newest line of UH apparel and spirit items are now available at the H-Zone stores at Ward Center and in the Stan Sheriff Center. All proceeds benefit UH teams and student athletes. You can shop online at hzoneonline.com as well. Wade Benson. In his second stint with Eastern Washington, actually left after 7 years as head coach with the Eagles to coach at Auburn between 2008 and 2010. His Eagles trying to fight for a win here in set number 2, but Nikki Taylor with that devastating serve able to put Hawaii up 1. Yakovlevich will come back into the match replacing Ahuna. This serve is a difference maker from Nikki Taylor. There it is again, forcing the overpass. Greeley, the free swing.
Nikki Taylor and Taylor Higgins can create havoc from behind that service line. They can change a match around by themselves. Do you see all the substituting that's going on right now? Smart moves by Wade Benson. He has one timeout left, but I think he'd rather ice Nikki by having these substitutions.
Got it on the end line.
So much for icing.
If there was any icing, it melted mighty quick as Wade Benson signals for a timeout.
Now he's going to try to use the icing for, a 60-second timeout. Somehow cool off a hot Nikki Taylor.
22-19, and yeah, it just is such an equalizer. It can make up for any other statistical shortcoming. I mean, last night, Florida, right? Out-hit, out-dug, out-blocked the Rainbow Wahine, but it was via the service line that Hawaii was able to make up for so many of those points.
Exactly. And Nikki Taylor's really upped her game, I think, in every facet. Not just the service line, but her hitting from that opposite position has just been nothing short of phenomenal this year.
Let's check out the First Hawaiian Bank top 3. Hawaii single season digs. Oh yes, Liz Ka'aihue in 2010, 484 digs, just getting past Ashley Watanabe, who had 481 in 05, and Jamie Lee in 2006, 467.
Ka'aihue was the first scholarship libero Dave Shoji ever used. There's a second scholarship libero that he has used, and more coaches are finding out that they better go out and find a great libero. You better scholarship, give them one of those golden 12 scholarships.
We saw one of the best that I've seen in this building last night for Florida, Nikki O'Rourke.
Phenomenal. What a show she put on. She ended up with 25, so she ended up with 25 digs?
I believe so. Taylor with another beautiful serve. Back-to-back aces for Taylor.
It was 19-19 just a moment ago.
That's her third ace in this run. And another substitution as for the third time, Wade Benson will switch Ahuna and Yakovlevich. 23 serving 19. Gilbert off of one leg, saved by Kahakai. Kelsch will go high and away. Greeley!
Hawaii has put it into another gear, wouldn't you say?
It was 18-19. Hawaii trailing by 1. A blink of the eye later, 6-0 run, and it's aloha ball in the second. Middle set to Watson, sniffed out, and Kendra Kelsch, the closer, closing the book on set 2. 25-19 in the second, and Hawaii will be looking to grab them brooms here tonight. Let's take a look at the McDonald's match statistics. Chris, what stands out the most to you?
Well, what jumps right out is the kill percentage. Hawaii hitting 286, 062 for Eastern Washington. Blocks also, Hawaii doubling up on Eastern Washington. But look at the digs. The Eagles, 30-25 over the University of Hawaii. You don't see that very often. And finally, the service aces to errors. Hawaii with 4 aces and Eastern Washington with 5.
So now we may look to see a few changes in the lineup. Maybe Dave Shoji with the opportunity to test a couple of things. In fact, we already see Claire Marie Anderson with the libero jersey on. Savannah Kahakai putting on the standard jersey. So a bit of a wrinkle there.
Yeah, and Annie Mitchum's going to play as well. I thought we might see her, but the rest of the lineup staying the same. So Dave Shoji basically staying with his basic lineup, only making that one little tweak with libero and Annie Mitchum.
Hawaii up 2-0 here. Trying to follow up just one of the all-time performances last night against number 2 Florida, with a win here against Eastern Washington to put a tidy little bow on the Outrigger Resorts Volleyball Challenge. But this is a scrappy Eagles squad, as we have already established.
Real compliment to Claire Marie Anderson as she got called upon to be the second libero.
There's Taimon Olival from the outside. The roof was up. Alexis Wesley and Jessica Gilbert. And for the first time in this match, Eastern Washington breaks the ice to start a set.
Taimon Olival hitting a little bit low there and into their best blocker.
Nicole Rigoni again to serve. That's a tough jump serve, fielded by Claire Marie Anderson. Mano Leval goes off the block and out. It was all Punahou on the Hawaii side of the net. Claire Marie Anderson with the pass, Taylor Higgins the set, and Mano Leval the finish.
You said it, I didn't.
Oh, I knew you were thinking it, though.
There's a good finish by Taimon Olival that time. Again, hitting it in the middle block. I'm concerned about that, but she continues to hit into the middle.
Wesley dug up by Higgins and then bumped over the net by McGill. Chance for the Eagles here. They go outside to Schumacher, and the block hadn't formed for Hawaii. Schumacher taking full advantage.
Great swing by Schumacher. She's led them in kills, number 7 of their 9 at the contest. And that time, she looked so sharp there, coming in hard, hitting the seam.
Pass by Anderson. It's a beauty. Middle set McGill off the shoulder of Schumacher, and now she'll get the set from the back row. Triple block was up. Nikki Taylor able to finish off of the touch and put it down.
Very alert play by Taylor. She could have backed off and passed it up on a play. Instead, she just tapped it down with her left hand. She is ambidextrous, by the way.
That's right. And that's going to be a back row attacker. Penalty called against Eastern Washington.
Wade Benson furious. He says there's no way that she was above the net. To be a back row attack, the hitter's got to contact the ball above the height of the 7'4" net.
Yeah, it looked like she was relatively flat-footed there on that dump shot attempt. Maybe a little athletic justice as the serve ensuing goes out.
I think Wade had a case to be made there. I didn't think she jumped that high.
Ensrud, the run-up serve down the line it goes, misses just wide, and it's a point for Hawaii. So here's Claire Marie Anderson, inserted at libero. And we also have Annie Mitchum in the front row now at middle blocker for Hawaii. Overpass, Mitchum gobbles it up.
Annie Mitchum with authority.
She got the start first in her Rainbow Wahine career, transfer from Irvine Valley College last night against Florida. But it would be Emily Maglio taking over and pretty much finishing the deal in that match. And Emily played well, there's no doubt about that. That one gets hit into the net, and another point for Hawaii.
And if Hawaii keeps on this roll, Wade Benson may have to call an early timeout.
Anderson, another great serve. Call it an ace. Point Hawaii at 7-3. How about the impact of Claire Marie Anderson here in this third set?
She's serving well. She knows she has to serve a little bit tougher and locate serve better.
Kovlovich with the first pass. Middle set. Chloe Weber denied by Annie Mitchum. And that will prompt the timeout signal from Wade Benson. Hawaii open it up early. Time now for the Fujitsu Air Conditioning Cool Play the match, and we rewind it to set 1, Chris.
Yeah, this is when Taylor Higgins was going almost exclusively to the middle, and watch this as Rigoni catches a McGill kill.
And
Again, one of those Fujitsu cool plays. It sort of depends on your perspective. Greeley played it off the net, got the swing. Anderson the save on the block, and Mitchum in the middle is dug up. Right side. It's Gilbert through the block and down. So that ends a 5-0 Hawaii run. And quality timeout, you can say, taken by Wade Benson.
Whatever he called, worked.
Jessica Gilbert will serve. 4 serving 8. Mano Leval bumps it straight up. Claire Marie Anderson, the bump set 2 tie, sends it long.
Not an easy ball to hit there. It's coming back over your head, over your right shoulder there. And she did try to pull the trigger and not hit it quite so hard, but tough play.
Here's Taylor on the opposite side. When in doubt, look to Nikki. Last night, a career-high 27 kills on a career-high 63 swings against Florida. Hit .254. Oh, also had a monster double-double with 17 digs. 3 blocks, 3 aces. That also tied a career-high. I mean, Nikki Taylor was monstrous.
Do you think she'll get voted again Big West Player of the Week with those kind of numbers?
Back to back to back? Is that what you're suggesting?
She's making a case for it, to be sure.
It'd be hard to deny that. Megan Huff in the front row for Hawaii, unable to smother that Anna Yakovlevich sort of excuse me swing. Dave Shoji up off the bench to adjust the formation here on service receive. Kendra Kelsch in there, one hand set to the middle, nothing doing. So a free chance here for the Eagles. Schumacher blocked by Greeley. It'll be a swing from the back row by Yakovlevich. Huff with the block and then the save. Here's Mano Leval against a triple block. And she got roofed.
Solid block by Eastern Washington that time. Had 3 people out. They knew the ball was being sent to the back row, and they were ready. Both wing blockers squeeze in. Time Mano Leval cannot squeeze it over.
And an ace from Anna Yakovlevich. And this scrappy Eastern Washington team.
It will go away. Sixth ace of the night.
8 serving 9, and ironically, it's a service error. That helps Hawaii out.
You know, they're having the same strategy they used against Florida on night number 1. Because I was watching Wade Benson and heard some of his huddles. He was saying, you know, let's get back there and rip the ball. Let's hit these balls hard. Let's take some chances and get some aces, or at least force them into bad passes. Get them out of the system. They're doing the same thing to Hawaii tonight. 6 aces is a lot against Hawaii.
Anderson the save on the Yakovlevich hit. Mano Leval way up in the air. Net violation called against the Eagles as they were trying to scramble a return. For tie, that is kill number 8, 17 swings.
And Wade Benson's wondering why there wasn't a call on Taylor Higgins' set. He thought it came spinning out of her hands and possibly a double contact. Judgment call.
This Schumacher from the outside had a solo blocker, couldn't take advantage as she blasts it long. Hawaii up 4. Rainbow Wahine looking to win this 21st edition of the Outrigger Resorts Volleyball Challenge in unblemished fashion, trying to go 3-0. Schumacher from the outside, off the block, Greeley there to cover. Oh, the pass tight to the net, though. And it's going to be a back row attacker called against Kelsch. Missed opportunity there for Hawaii. Rainbow Wahine, they've taken 16 of the previous 20 Outrigger Resorts Volleyball Challenge titles. By the way, the announced attendance through the turnstiles tonight, Chris, just under 5,000, 4,972 here on this Saturday. Fernanda Vito taking off the libero jersey here for set 3, inserted in and back to serve. Really with a good pass there. Middle set, Mitchum.
Really went from horrible pass to great pass. She overpassed the last free ball, and this one here had a tough serve. Passed it up right in the money so that Kendra Kelsch could run the middle.
That's Greeley, right? She's even Steven.
She is. She is even Steven. Seinfeld episode.
Right side, that is Miller off the block and out, so a point for the Eagles. And sort of traded blows here in this third set. That win last night over Florida, by the way, Chris, it was the first for Hawaii over a ranked opponent since they defeated number 23 Creighton in 5 sets back in September of 2013. That year, they also beat their last top 10 opponent, UCLA, September 7th, as the aces delivered by Nicole Rigoni. And last night also represented the first win for Hawaii over a top 5 team since August 30th of 2013 and number 1 Texas to start the year. 11 serving 13, back-to-back aces by Nicole Rigoni.
I love Rigoni's serve. She just got a whip of an arm. Gets a lot of velocity on it, gets a lot of spin on it, dives as it gets over the net. Hawaii's going to adjust their pattern right now. I think take a step up. See, Dave showed he's going to move the passing formation up. He did.
Well, he brings Taylor Higgins back in, brings Nikki Taylor back in. 12 serving 13, passed by Anderson, a good one. High and away, 2 tie. Preventing the tie here in set 3 and putting Hawaii up a deuce.
Ty taking a good swing here. Much higher contact point and finding the seam between the 2 blockers.
Taylor Higgins with the serve. Middle set that goes to Wesley. And again, off of the high hands and down.
Gill did everything she could to reach over and take that wrist away shot. Did not quite get there fast enough. Good shot.
Eastern Washington
by Wesley.
Back in positive numbers hitting percentage-wise, 0.67 here in this third set. The swing by Taylor is dug up. They go opposite side to Gilbert. Right there is Higgins. So Anderson bump sets to Mano'olevau. Blocked and roofed. Alexis Wesley going up there.
Great block by Wesley. They just lined up on Ty Mano'olevau. 4 hands across.
We're knotted again here at 14. 4th tie of this third stanza. Nikki Taylor, though, restores order for the moment. Hawaii hitting 176 here in the third. And Mano'olevau, that flat-footed serve. Wesley in the middle. That had some heat.
Good range by Alexis Wesley out of Memphis University.
Again, a graduate transfer. Sort of joins the general transfer culture that seems to be so much more prominent now in really all facets of Division I collegiate sports, but you're seeing a lot here in women's volleyball as well. McGill off the block and down.
Every weekend I ask the coaches, so what do you think about the transfer culture that's going on? They said, you know, it was bound to happen because players commit so early as freshmen and sophomores that by the time they get to college, either they've got a brand new coach there or it isn't quite what they expected it to be.
Good effort by Higgins on the drop shot.
And the other thing that's happening is that the players are graduating, early, giving themselves an extra year to go play somewhere else. So when you graduate, you don't have to sit out any years at all. You just transfer wherever you want.
Gilbert into the net. There have been some that have actually voiced their displeasure with that rule, saying that it's kind of a loophole that a lot of players and thus coaches are taking advantage of. But my feeling is, hey, if you fulfill your responsibilities as far as graduating and you have eligibility remaining, then hey, that's your prerogative, correct?
Exactly.
Yakovlevich from the outside got the touch at the net. We are going tit for tat here in the third, again tied at 17, 7th time that we've been all square here in this third set.
She's been a bright spot offensively for this Eastern Washington team. 8 kills, hitting .333.
Greeley. Schumacher from from the outside won't get a chance. They're going to call a miss hit on the set. It's Tilba Yaliolu, 5'8" freshman, reserve setter from Hamm, Germany.
Born in Germany, but she's Turkish.
Savannah Kahakan. Kind of strange to see her without the libero jersey. Right side, hit by Miller is dug up by Taylor. Mano Levao up on springs, but she misses wide, and we're tied yet again.
I don't think Ty got quite far enough off the net to get her usual run up that time. Vito to take a chance here.
Critical juncture of this third set. Good pass by Anderson. Step out Mitchum. And looky here, the slide has returned for Hawaii to the Stan Sheriff Center.
Yes, and Claire Marie Anderson with a good pass. Higgins with a great set. Mitchum finishes. Nice cross-court angle, showing she can hit that line shot. We know she's got that shot. Now we see that she can hit that sharp angle as well.
Certainly the slide not as prevalent as it was courtesy Kalea Adolfo last season. She took the Molokai slide with her. But Olivia McGill finds other ways to contribute in front of the setter and certainly in the blocking category as we see on display there. Hawaii up 2. Let's check out how it works, presented by Central Pacific Bank. Chris.
I didn't mention the two-time JC Player of the Year in California in Irvine. Ran that slide play all the time for Tom Pestalacci. She's pretty much got it wired, and it's an easy thing for her to do. Maybe not quite like Kalea Adolfo, but close to it.
Miller from the opposite side blocked back. Take a swing on the second touch and find that deep corner where no Rainbow Wahine were. Another point here for Eastern Washington. Substitutions on either side of the net. Eagles within 1 here, trying to prolong this match. Hawaii would love to pack this thing up as quickly as possible.
Here comes their most prolific acer tonight, Nicole Rigoni. Got 3 aces. Served 13 times, more than any other Eagle.
Good one again. Anderson chases down the second touch. Bump sets Taylor from the back row, and that may be a touch 'em all. Goes way out. Point Eastern Washington. We are tied for now the 9th time, and Dave Shoji will signal for a timeout. What do you think about his timing there?
I think it's a good timeout because against Rigoni, Hawaii's really struggled. You know, she's got 3 aces and numerous bad passes that she's caused with her serve. So my guess is that he may be talking about that during the huddle, about where the passing pattern should be. Should there be a 4th passer in the passing pattern, possibly? Should the pattern be moved up, since it seems that a lot of her serves are just dropping in front of Hawaii's passer? So I think it was a good timeout.
Tied at 20 here in set number 3. Dave Shoji. A little more of a concerned look than what we saw at the end of the match last night. I mean, it was an ear-to-ear smile, and you have to imagine for a man in his position, 41st season, those are the moments, right? Those are the nights that draw you back year after year. He has to withstand all of the annual questions of, hey, Dave, when are you going to call it a career? You're coming back again. And I imagine those moments like what he experienced last night, that is confirmation and justification for his desire to continue doing what he does.
Yeah, he's an amazing competitor. He loves the thrill of victory. Doesn't like the agony of defeat. But clearly, I totally agree with you that he loves nights like last night. He loved beating Texas a couple of years ago in 2013. When they were ranked #1 in the country. He scheduled them as the first match of the year.
Yeah, that's some chutzpah right there. But Hawaii in a battle here in set 3 against Eastern Washington. And here comes Rigoni. Anderson, good pass. They go to the pipe to Nikki Taylor, and that's dug up by Ensrud. Free ball Hawaii's way. Overpass by Kahakai, but somehow Taylor Higgins able to salvage the sequence with the one-handed set for McGill.
Pass, very dangerous. Wade Benson wants a mishandled ball called there, and he doesn't get it, but clearly those free ball passes got to be handled better.
Overpass forced on deep. Higgins serve, and Nikki Taylor puts the punctuation mark.
She knows who to thank for that last kill. She gave Taylor Higgins a big hug.
22 serving 20. Great pass by Ensrud. Schumacher from the outside, soft hit, sniffed out by Kahakai. Here's time on Olevao on the outside, blocked and roofed, and again, it is Wesley and Gilbert. That's turning into a pretty formidable blocking tandem.
Solid block. The 9th block of the night for the Eagles.
Schumacher the serve for Eastern Washington. Mishandled by Taylor Higgins. Point Eagles for the 10th time in the third. We're all square.
The question is, does Hawaii have another gear here or not?
Trying to flick that switch. Oh, Higgins saves it out of the pin area, but Taylor gets roofed by Wesley. And Eastern Washington on a 3-0 run vaults ahead.
Great bump save by Taylor Higgins, and an even better block by Eastern Washington on Nikki Taylor. Wesley, she was a great blocker at Memphis. I think she led them in blocking all 3 years she was there. She was an amazing blocker. She averages about a block percent when she's here at Eastern Washington. And she also was in the top 3 in all-time in kill percentage for Memphis. So she's quite a catch for Wade Benson to get that kind of experience on his team.
Yeah, the graduate transfer from Silverdale, Washington, so finding her way back to Washington State, Eastern Washington, which is located in Cheney. Enrollment of a little over 13,000. Home gym is Reese Court, which seats 5,000, but certainly this is a crowd that is larger than what they are used to.
Well, it'll be the biggest crowd they play in front of all year.
And they have handled it pretty well, especially here in the third. I mean, we've described them as scrappy. We said they were feisty. They definitely put that on display against Florida on night 1. And here they are against another nationally ranked team in Hawaii, not going quietly.
Love the way they've served tonight. They've had eight aces and only 4 errors.
It is Ali Schumacher, their go-to, if you will, who will serve. Kahakai the pass. Higgins goes middle to McGill, blocked and roofed. Alexis Wesley again getting the gist of it. And she has put up the wall here in the latter moments of this set 3. It is Aloha ball in the third for Eastern Washington. Higgins goes outside to Taylor. Off the fingertips. It'll be Yakovlevich who gets a swing and tools it off the block and out, and Eastern Washington gets set 3. The brooms get placed back in the closet, and we will move on to a 4th here at the Stan Sheriff Center under the Saturday night lights. Well, serving one of the ways that Eastern Washington flipped the script in set 3, Chris.
8 aces on the night, only 4 errors. Rigoni's been leading the way with 3 aces. And if she doesn't get an ace, she usually forces a bad pass. This is all part of Wade Benson's strategy. I know he's got his girls stepping back behind the serving line and saying, you know what, bang away. We're gonna get Hawaii out of their offense and just power it, give it your best serve every time. Don't worry if you miss it.
It's how Hawaii was able to turn things against Florida last night. Rainbow Wahine right now out hitting, out blocking Eastern Washington, but that's where you can tip the scales from the service line.
And you got to give Alexis Wesley a lot of credit for Eastern Washington's win in that third set. She's been in on 8 of their 11 blocks. Monster at the net.
Yeah, the majority of those coming in that third set. Hawaii towards the home stretch of that stanza, trying to flick the light switch back on, but nothing doing. Here we go to a fourth. For Schumacher from the outside, diving save Claire Marie Anderson, who stays in there as the libero. Greeley from the back row finds the deep corner. So we'll see how Hawaii responds here to a little bit of adversity provided by Eastern Washington. No quick night tonight for Dave Shoji and his bunch. Pass by Ensrud, joust at the net, and it's won by Rigoni against Manole Vau.
It does not surprise me that Eastern Washington would take a set off Hawaii, given Hawaii's emotional letdown from last night and Eastern Washington's style of play.
Rigoni with the hard serve, good pass, Greeley, middle set, McGill. And that's going to be a big-time kill from Olivia. Hawaii up 2-1. Yeah, because now it is Hawaii reaching into the reserve tank, if you will.
Exactly. Olivia hit that one like she was double parked and needed to get somewhere because she just pounded it.
Wesley
not only being a great blocker now, she's got her 5th kill right there to go along with 3 errors, but she's getting the job done.
Yeah, she's parked just fine and legally. She wants this thing to go as long as possible. Here's Greeley against the double block. Schumacher from the back row, hard angle. Ooh, that just missed that sideline. Point for Hawaii. Hawaii led in kills so far by Olivia McGill. She has 10, hitting 381. Nikki Taylor matching her with 10 kills, hitting 143. Yakovlevich has 9 kills to pace Eastern Washington. But Wesley is climbing the stats ladder. She has been looming large here in sets 3 and now into set 4.
Picks up kill number 6. Even though 2 blockers are up on her, she finds a way to put it down.
Serving 3, the run-up serve by Ensrud, pass Anderson. Here's Taylor, hard angle in. Wow, that was a very acute angle coming from Nikki Taylor on the opposite side.
This is a tough shot Nikki hits right here. She's got to cut, both blockers are up on her. She's got to cut it inside the 3-meter line to keep it in. Not easy.
Yeah, not too many players across the college volleyball landscape that have that in the repertoire. Here's Gilbert off of 1 leg. She is a good jumper off of that 1 foot. And it's 4 serving 4.
You can see why she was voted all tournament at that New Orleans tournament. She can light it up when she gets going.
Hitting negative 100 here in this match, but she's had some moments. Greeley, the overpass, placed down. I think they're going to give credit to Weber, possibly. Rigoni was there as well.
I think the biggest Achilles heel for tonight, besides Eastern Washington's defense, has been overpassing. Whether it be free ball or whether it be serves.
Gilbert sends it long. We're tied at 5. Yeah, I mean, you just look at the body language now. There's definitely a discrepancy between what we're seeing from Eastern Washington. A lot of energy, a lot of enthusiasm for Hawaii. Looks of concern as they try to rev it up again. Middle set to Weber, dug up by Anderson, and it's Mitchum in the middle for Hawaii. Right there was Schumacher. The hit by Miller is dug up to the scoreboard. Now Taylor from the D position. Good set from Kendra Kelsch over there, and Hawaii jumps in front.
And Claire Marie Anderson, watch this dig. Straight shot, no touching the block, so she had to take the full brunt of that spike, and then Taylor, as she usually does, finishes on that right side down the line.
Schumacher in the middle fields the first touch. Outside it goes to Yakovlevich. Blocked, she keeps it alive herself. Now right side to Miller, the dink. Good touch at the net by Manole Vau. Save Anderson. D set to Taylor. When in doubt,
right, when in doubt, go to Nikki. And she'll blast one for you, as the sign says. She knows how to read.
13 kills now at a .226 percentage for Nikki Taylor. Also 3 service aces. Calais Greeley with the serve here. She digs up the Miller swing. Step out goes to Mitchum, ill-timed, but Mitchum still makes it work. Got it down the line. I guess it helps to be standing at 6'3" in a position like that.
She did a nice adjustment there with her feet and stopped her fast run to slow down and just do a standing attack there.
4 straight points here, logged by the Wahine. Jakovlevich on the outside, dug up by Taylor to the net, and then the save by Anderson, and the push down by Weber. Mano Levao is dug up by Ensru. Back row set to Schumacher. Right there is Taylor. Mano Levao, the second touch, sends it over the net. Now Miller. That's dug up by Greeley. Here's Kelch, high and away. A tie. High hand, Schumacher the save. The set tight to the net. Touched out by Kelch. That's going to be Eastern Washington's point.
Very close play there at the net. Dave Shoji up off the bench, demanding an explanation.
6 serving 8. Jakovlevich with the serve. Anderson. First touch. Bump set to Taylor from the back row. Look at the scramble plays again from the Eagles. Schumacher soft hit. Right there is Greeley. So Kelch to Mano Levao. That one was tight to the net. She really couldn't do much else with it except work it off the block.
Kelch's location that time, not her finest, but Mano Levao, being the savvy senior that she is, wipes it off the outside blocker's outside hand and gets her 10th kill of the night.
Veteran move from the Hilo girl. And then the roof was up. Courtesy the Hilo girl against Chloe Weber.
Mano Levao really gets that left hand working into the court that time. Penetrates over the net.
Largest lead of this 4th set for Hawaii. And it's going to be a point for Eastern Washington as Weber was able to just sneak it by Mano Levao. Shows some resistance to the call. Here is Weber to serve. She recorded 169 service aces in one season in high school, her junior year. And the block is up, and guess who was right there, Chris? Alexis Wesley.
As usual, she's been all over the place.
Her 9th block of the match. Taylor from behind the line sends it long. No touch up front, and here come the Eagles again. A 3-0 run, timeout, Dave Shoji. The Rainbow Wahine trying to find a way to get back to business. Back here at the Stan Sheriff Center, and Mano Levao debated this call. She says she didn't get a touch on that. And from the replay, if she did, it was minuscule. And out of the timeout, the set to Nikki Taylor.
Who else? You want to save the day? You want to stop the bleeding? Go to Nikki.
Much needed point there for Hawaii to apply the tourniquet. Eastern Washington. Pesky.
I'm so impressed by Eastern Washington, how well they play defense, how well they've scouted Hawaii, the execution of blocking at the net. Passing like that.
Good touch at the net on the Miller swing. McGill in the middle. That's dug up by Ensru. Schumacher on the outside. The dink. Pancake save Higgins. Pitter-patter at the net, and then Miller puts it down.
Sophie Miller, the Hawaii connection, making half her old high school buddy. Federal way. Look at this pancake by Nikki. And all of a sudden, Taylor Higgins. Still keeping alive, but Sophie Miller having the last say. Great shot.
And Here is the very difficult serve of Rigoni, but Hawaii gets bailed out a bit as she sends it into the net.
Rigoni's first service error of the night. She's been so good from behind the line.
She's human. Olival with the serve. Schumacher from the opposite position is blocked, saved by Ensru. Rigoni goes outside to Gilbert. Off the block, there's Higgins. So Claire Marie Anderson sets up Taylor. Hard angle and in.
It was Taimana Olival directing the sets from the back row. She's pointing to Claire Marie Anderson saying, bump set that thing to Nikki. She's hot.
15 kills now for her on 36 swings. Wesley in the middle off the block and down. She right now has been virtually unstoppable.
Hawaii's got to find some way at some point to stop her, either block her or dig her, because she's right now, as you say, unstoppable.
Pass tight to the net. McGill blocked by Wesley. Hawaii will maintain it. Now Taylor from the opposite side, punched in the air by Gilbert. Yakovlevich sends it deep and out. No touch at the net by Hawaii. So the Rainbow Wahine get the point. Anderson will serve. Off one leg, it's Gilbert. Net violation going to be called against Hawaii.
Ray Greeley that time getting a little bit over-aggressive at the net.
Just trying to crawl across the finish line here against Eastern Washington. Greeley dug up by Ensru. A swing by Weber in the middle, saved by Gilbert off the block. Yakovlevich is blocked. And it'll be a lift call against Rigoni. And Wade Benson not happy about that one bit.
Wade Benson not happy. But he wants it. He might agree that that was a double hit. He just wants it called the same way on both sides, because he thinks there's been some other plays on Hawaii's side of the net where there have been double contacts.
15 serving, 12. Nikki Taylor to serve. It's a beauty. And Mitchum takes advantage.
Boy, it pays to be 6'3", doesn't it?
It's nice. Can't coach that, huh?
Yeah, she just sort of does a little tiptoe tap down.
5 kills on 7 swings. No errors for Annie Mitchum. As Taylor sends it into the twine. And for Annie Mitchum, a lot obviously expected of her. Highly recruited, highly hyped junior college transfer, but still getting used to the speed of Division I collegiate volleyball. Here's Greeley, solo block, dug up back over the net. Kelsch goes to Greeley a second time. And the second time works.
That time play, Greeley chose to go over the small blocker, Rigoni, rather than going cross-court against the big blocker, or the big middle blocker, and it paid off.
17 serving 13. And Greeley misses wide.
Greeley's first service error of the night. Hawaii's fourth.
And it's Anna Yakovlevich getting ready to serve. We got a conversation going on, though, between Wade Benson and the official scorers table.
Wade Benson saying, I think it's 15, not 14. Can you give us another point, please?
Anderson the pass. Kelsch on the slide to Mitchum. Denied by Ali Schumacher. And you see the excitement coming from the Eagles as Schumacher showing a lot of emotion.
Great block here. Schumacher all over Annie Mitchum's slide.
And the Eagles within 2. Kelsch sets up Mano Olival. Blocked. Mitchum the first touch. Kelsch goes D-set to Taylor off. Speeder works. I mean, you hate to repeat yourself over and over, but when it's not going good, when you need a point, when you're doubting, when you're uncertain, Nikki Taylor, she's been the fixer.
She really has been. Hawaii's got to make sure they continue to develop a diverse offense and not become just a one-person team.
Chloe Weber able to pound it down. She is a biochemistry major, so we have that in common.
Yes, you do. Well, that's your minor, wasn't it? It was astrophysics that was your major.
True, correct. Fernanda Vito will serve. 16 serving 18. The pass by Greeley. Kelch sets up McGill over a triple block. Punched up in the air by Yaliolu. Hawaii will have another chance. Taylor from the D position. Was there a touch? Looked like there was a touch, yes. Initially, they said it was an out ball, but the line judge back on Hawaii's side signaled the touch, and I think that's the right call.
It was definitely a call right there, and Wade Benson agreed on that call. He knew it. He heard it. He saw it. He knew it.
Higgins will serve. 19 serving 16. Pass to Kovlevich. Wesley in the middle. McGill bumps it back over the net. Free swing by Schumacher, dug up by Anderson, but then Greeley bumps it into the scoreboard. It finds its way on the Hawaii side to the floor.
They really had the right idea to pop one up high there to the left side. It was just a little bit too high.
A little bit.
I give a lot of credit to this Eastern Washington team. They just keep hanging in there, playing great defense, serving tough.
This is Rigoni, the toughest server they have. Taylor from the outside. That was an absolute smash.
18 kills for Nikki on 40 swings.
Hawaii up 3. Mano Levau. Kovlevich with the first touch. Wesley in the middle, and they're going to call a mishit against the center, Nicole Rigoni. There have been a few instances of that here tonight, and Hawaii with a little bit of breathing room in the fourth. Welcome back. Well, for a while there, it looked like it potentially could be quick work for Hawaii here against Eastern Washington, but Wade Benson's Eagles having nothing to do with that. Hawaii now up 4 in the fourth, trying to close out this match against this tough crew of Eagles. Time on Olivao to dig on the Schumacher hit. Here's Taylor from the opposite side. Missed wide, no touch. Point Eastern Washington. That was just a bad luck ricochet off the top of the tape.
Maybe a little bit too much reliance on Nikki Taylor. That's a tough shot she's having to make over there.
Here's Greeley from the outside. Wesley got a finger on it, and she gets the set in the middle. But McGill got an entire forearm on it and turns it back.
McGill has missed and missed and missed with Wesley, and finally she guessed right and pressed it right back over. Important point. The 22nd point.
Another timeout taken by Wade Benson and the Eastern Washington Eagles.
McGill been on 8 of Hawaii's 14.5 blocks. She's just one amazing blocker. She has great instincts at the net, both attacking and blocking.
Yeah, the stat line for Olivia, 10 kills, hitting .333, 8 blocks. Hawaii hitting .233 for the match versus 128 for Eastern Washington. But again, the Eagles resourceful in finding other ways to make an impact on this match, whether it be from the service line or just some of those scramble plays, you know, just kind of prolonging these sequences to make it more difficult on a potentially tired Hawaii team.
Exactly. And this is a team that has 14 underclassmen, freshmen and sophomores, 1 junior and 4 seniors. So it's a team that that is young. They're still learning, but they're out there playing, you know, like they've got nothing to lose. Wade Benson's done a great job, I think, of teaching them a lot about ball control. They're keeping the ball in play. They're staying patient in rallies, and they're serving very tough from behind the service line.
And we mentioned Kaiulani Ohuna, the freshman for Eastern Washington out of Kamehameha, Hawaii. They have another Hawaii girl on their team. Out injured, though, with a knee, Ashley Vauipi, 5'5" sophomore defensive specialist from Wahiawa out of Mililani High School. So bad timing, certainly, for the injury. I know she was pretty upset she couldn't make the trip here to the islands as Gilbert hits it into the net. Hawaii up 5.
You know, the first day of Eastern Washington's practice, I asked Wade Benson about her, and he said, please mention her on the telecast, so thanks for doing that. He said she's just one great player, great kid. He wished that she could have made the trip. She hurt her knee a couple weeks ago.
Wesley in the middle. Nobody was up.
That's a function of some really good passing and really good setting. Hawaii not serving as tough there as they could have or should have.
Hawaii 2 points away, and the crowd urging them on. Trying to raise the decibel level a little bit here. Ensrud closing in on 1,000 career digs in her Eastern Washington career with the serve. The dink by Taylor. Diving save, Ensrud. And Yakovlevich finds that corner where no Rainbow Wahine were.
Yakovlevich does that same shot that earlier Schumacher was having a field day with.
Pass Monolevao. Taylor from the opposite side through the block and down. And they stand here at the Stamp Sheriff Center. Just under 5,000 through the turnstiles. Nikki Taylor will serve for the match. Aloha ball. It'll be a free chance for Hawaii. Mitchum the touch. Kelch high and away to Greeley. And it's over.
And Dave Choji breathes a huge sigh of relief.
Eastern Washington provides a stern test for the Rainbow Wahine here on the final night of the Outrigger Resorts Volleyball Challenge. But in the end, Hawaii does get it done, and they go 3-0 in the tourney, and they improve to 8-1 on the season. But as you called before we even got started here tonight, Chris, there was going to be a little bit of a lag from Hawaii because it is impossible virtually to come off of an emotional match and an electric atmosphere like last night in that win against Florida and follow it up to the same level. So it was expected. Hawaii played through it, ultimately got the W.
Yeah, give a lot of credit to Wade Benson and his Eastern Washington Eagles. They played with such determination tonight, and they were just scrappy. Great playing by the Eagles.
There you saw the record, 8-1 for the 16th ranked Rainbow Wahine. Scott Robbs has Dave Shoji. Scott.
Hey, thanks a lot, Kanawa Coach. I bet you're glad this one's over. I mean, it couldn't be anything like last night. It was impossible.
Well, we knew that coming in. We just tried to talk to the team about staying up. But you know what? Eastern Washington put a lot of pressure on us. They served really well, and they passed really well. I didn't see that the first couple nights. And when you serve and pass better than the other team, then you're always going to be in it.
You seem to be a lot more comfortable bringing in Kelch earlier in sets. Right now, it looks like a platoon system. Do you still want to have one set, or are you comfortable with running basically a platoon the rest of the way?
Well, I think we've used Kendra a lot in the past, and we'll continue to use her. You know, we'll go back in the practice gym, and maybe she deserves a start. I don't know yet, but I think it's a good combination. You know, Higgins' serve is very good, so we want to use that part of her game. But it seems like every night it's a little bit different, so we'll just continue to do what we've been doing.
You saw Claire Marie Anderson at libero first time this year. She played the last 2 sets. I thought she played pretty well. Is that a position that is still up for grabs in your mind?
Well, I thought I'd give Claire a shot at just seeing what she can do passing-wise. She hadn't had a chance to pass. I thought she passed very, very well. you know, she's always going to give you 100%. So we'll see about the position. You know, Savannah's been solid, but we need a upgrade in that position. We need to get better at that position. So we'll give Claire and the other girls a chance maybe.
You know, this week, heading into this tournament, you only had, 2 days of practice. So this coming week, you'll have a full week in the gym. What are some of the things you plan on working on?
Pass, set, hit, block, defense.
All the basics.
Yeah, I mean, we do that every day, basically, but now we've got a full week, and trust me, we'll be back in the practice gym working on our skills.
All right, Dave, enjoy it.
Okay, thanks, Scott.
All right, guys, back to you.
Thanks a lot, Scott. Bank of Hawaii presents the players of the match. Anna Yakovlevich, 10 kills, 2 aces, 6 digs, gets the nod for Eastern Washington. And we'll look to Olivia McGill, 10 kills, 8 blocks, 3 digs. McGill hitting .333 for the match. Nikki Taylor led all offensive scorers, 19 kills on 43 attempts, hit .233 to go along with 8 digs and 5 blocks. So Hawaii gets it done. We knew there was going to potentially be a challenge there, just trying to rev it back up, you know, dip into the reservoir of energy. And so that proved to be a bit of an assignment for Hawaii tonight. But as Dave and Scott alluded to, long week to be able to rest up, be able to tool some things. So I guess it went as planned ultimately for the Rainbow Wahine.
And I think I like the comment Dave Shoji made when he said Eastern Washington served really well and they passed really well, and you didn't see that the first 2 nights out of them. And anytime you serve and pass well, you're going to be in the game.
Cal State Bakersfield is next up on the 18th for the Rainbow Wahine. But you agree with Dave? Kind of work on some of the basics. It's something they always do, but something that he's going to emphasize a little bit in this week of practice.
Yeah, I think I'd definitely give the girls tomorrow off. They have to by NCAA rules. And then I think I'd go real easy on Monday and maybe make Tuesday, Wednesday a couple of hard days and then start easing off at the end of the week.
Well, ultimately, Hawaii goes 3-0. Also have the memorable win over number 2 Florida. And so, all's good here in Manoa as it stands. That'll be it for us. For Chris McLaughlin, who you will see in the post-game show, I'm Kanoa Leahy. Thanks for watching, everybody. See you next time. Aloha.